Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Gonna play a game on Vaal here because I've been inspired to do so by a couple of YouTubers, and I'm gonna kind of go into a little chit chat before I play the game. You already know it's Donkey Kong 3 because you've seen the title. So if you just want to get straight to the gameplay, I'll put a little indicator here as to what the timestamp is for that, because I'm going to just ramble for a bit first here. So fast forward there if you want to just see me play Donkey Kong 3. Why do I want to play that? It's inspired by quite a few YouTubers recently. I was going to do a little mention for Neil Morris, Nifty Retro Gamer, because he's actually talked about Vaal, my MAME arcade machine here, in some of his videos, and here was me thinking, oh, I'll give him a shout out and I'll be a good member of the community, when I didn't need to. Steve Benwave has actually done so and almost doubled Neil's number of subscribers already, so he certainly doesn't need any kind of a boost from me. But when Neil was in the UK on one of his trips, he did some arcade visits, and he actually walked past a Tron machine, which is what Vaal here originally was. And he said, oh, look, it's Vaal. And I think some people were like, are you talking about Dan the Rabbit Hole's machine? So I appreciated that, and Vaal appreciates it as well. So just thought I would actually fire him up and have a game. Secondly, another subscriber, or somebody I am subscribed to who's a local here, Bastiche B, he actually picked up one of these arcade units here, or this X-Arcade controller, and he actually got it dirt cheap. In fact, let me just adjust the brightness here a bit so you can see that a little more clearly. Yeah, this is the X-Arcade controller, which I put on Vaal years ago when I built him, and Bastiche B got one of these just locally for like 20 bucks. And I was like, whoa, that's a heck of a deal, man. I got mine about like over a decade ago for, was it 15 years ago? Anyway, for like well over $100. So well done, Bastiche B. I'll put a link to his channel below as well. And another YouTuber I follow, the Highlander, he's trying to build one of these units so that he can play Robotron. And so it all kind of came together. I just thought, well, here's some talk about MAME machines and controllers and stuff. And Nifty Retro Gamer Neil talked about Vaal in his videos. So I thought, yeah, let's fire this thing up and do a gameplay. Now, why Donkey Kong 3? Well, there's been all this talk recently about how Nintendo have been coming down on places like Emu Paradise and various other ROM sharing websites and making it so you can't play those ROMs anymore. And I just wanted to discuss how, for me, that always seemed a funny thing, a strange thing, that you could just go to a website and get a ROM without much difficulty. I mean, practically everything on Vaal here, I'll just adjust the brightness again to see the screen there. Everything I got on Vaal, this is way back in the early 2000s when I built him, and so all my ROMs, I had to go on like IRC chat programs and stuff to find these things, and it seemed impossible to me that a website could actually run and maintain its being available where you could just grab a ROM, just no problem. And I think, didn't Emu Paradise actually charge a subscription fee for people who didn't want ads to load first before downloading the ROM? To which I thought, that's just incredible to me. Like, how can a website do that? You know, it was a thing for a while and people loved it, and they're very sad to see Emu Paradise and various other ROM sites go down. But I just thought, that's really surprising to me that you can even do that without any kind of repercussions, legally, financially, what have you. And apparently Nintendo agree, and they've been sort of coming down and shutting these places. So that's unfortunate for the various folks that rely on these things, especially with so many Retron and Dream Arcade and various other sort of emulating a Raspberry Pi, all these new devices that allow you to play the old ROMs. For Nintendo to kind of come down on these places and threaten legal action and say, you can't share this stuff anymore, they're right. I hate to say it, but they are totally right. So everybody's kind of like, oh, that really sucks. So yes, I do agree with Nintendo that absolutely they have the right to do that, and I know that people will find ways around it anyway, like I did with Vaal back in the day. The downside is, which is what this video is all about, that means that sometimes games are not really accessible anymore, like Donkey Kong 3. And so I'm going to play it. Now, I'm just showing here, I've just thrown the USB stick into Vaal there, so I've just loaded the ROM up. Let's get MAME on the screen here. And, yeah, we're going to have a game. Oops, there's why I got that brightness adjusted. Let's go down a bit. There we go. Yeah, so I want to try out Donkey Kong 3 because I've never actually played it. And I think this is maybe a small reason why Nintendo coming down on ROM sharing sites. This is sort of my vague counter-argument to the thing, because I don't think you can play Donkey Kong 3 on anything else. It's not like it was ever released in any compilations. I think they did make an NES version. But outside of that, it's that part of the Donkey Kong series that nobody really talks about. And as a result, I don't think I've ever played it. So I've loaded it up on Vaal here, and I want to try it out and see what I think. So let me just reposition the camera, and let's play some Donkey Kong 3. There we go, Donkey Kong 3. Now, from what I gather, you're not Mario in this, and you kind of go along as whoever that character is, and you want to shoot Donkey Kong up the bum with your spray nozzle device. I don't really understand this game, and again, I've never really played it. And this does speak to, like, if Nintendo want to crack down on this stuff, well, great, but some of your quote-unquote classic titles are not going to get played by anybody. It says Nintendo of America at the bottom. Was this only a US release? No, can't be. This must be a US ROM or something. Anyway, okay, well, let's try this out. I just downloaded this off an alternative. It was basically just a quick Google search, and I found this ROM anyway. So, again, if Nintendo wants to, like, crack down on this stuff, they've got a big job on their hands. But anyway, let's just play the game here. So, quarter up. And see what we get. Spray Donkey Kong to the top. And I guess okay, so I want to go up there. I want to shoot him, and I want to stop the bugs from getting to me. Oh, and that's bad. Okay. I apologize that Donkey Kong looks a little orange in the camera there. It doesn't look that bad on my screen here. I'm still messing with my ability to reduce flicker, which is great. It means the screen doesn't flicker, but now the colors are a little off, so still working on that. Get that guy on the side, I suppose. And then I'll just get this. Did I want to pick that up? Oh, I do. Ooh, boy, do I ever want to. Okay. And that's good? Like, oh, okay. Oh, got a perfect score. Good lord, I didn't even think so. Yeah, I wonder what their logic was when they were making this game. Like, who at Nintendo thought, oh yeah, people want to spray Donkey Kong up the bum? This is a very strange premise for a game. Oh! Okay. Let's see. I'm going to try and grab that thing when it falls, that spray gun filler. It's a weird kind of combination of shooter, really. Ooh, damn it. Oh. Is that me dead? Or do I have one more? Oh, no, that's me dead. Ooh, but I got the high score, though. Again, I've never played the ROM, so... Alright, let's put the old name in, and I think I'll give it one more try. Don't understand where they were thinking with this game. Like, alright, let's put another coin in. And So I'm going to just spray him to the top. So it's kind of, is this like Nintendo's Donkey Kong answer to Space Invaders? Is that where they were going with this? Did they think, well, people like shooting stuff, so we'll do that in our premise. But they had radar scope before they had Donkey Kong, so I'm surprised that this is why they think they would really get into that. Oh, darn it. That happened last time too, didn't it? It's got a lot of the charm of a Nintendo arcade machine. I mean, oh, crikey. Like, it has all the cutesy animation and stuff that I kind of associate with Nintendo. What's that sound mean? Is that a bad sound? Or is that my ROM somehow glitching? Did I get a bad ROM after all? Well, I'm dead anyway. Ooh, yeah, I think there's something wrong with this ROM. Ouch. Okay, let's quit out. Okay. Well, anyway, that's Donkey Kong 3. Yeah, I don't think it's all that great, but it is a part of the Nintendo arcade catalog, and if they're never going to allow people to download ROMs, other than the occasional NES release, like, do they want titles like this to be buried in the backyard and never be played by anybody again? Because this is not available on any compilations, to my knowledge. I did do a quick search to make sure. Yeah, nobody really knows much about Donkey Kong 3, nor do they play it very often, and that's going to continue if Nintendo keep killing ROM available download websites. So, however, I do agree with them. They have the right, so it's an interesting kind of a interesting question, and I just thought I would use that as my excuse to try out the ROM, play out the game, and also show off my arcade machine. And thank you very much again to Neil Morris, Nifty Retro Gamer, for having a few references to Vaal in some of his videos recently. Both he and I appreciate it greatly. And until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.